Hello everyone, back to you in today's video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next week's 10 days in today's video. It's taken around the 25th of the month, so we're heading towards the latter stages of June now, within the 10-day time frame. Into the warm weather next week, we'll see what the latest on that is from the models. And say about the Glastonbury Festival, it's going to be the 4th update released this evening. For that, a detailed look at the whole of the Glastonbury period again this evening around 7 o'clock. So if you're interested in Glasgow weather, then that'll be available for you this evening. We're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next week to 10 days. We've got the EWF here on the top, the GFS, have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 8,000 feet is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. And on these charts, blue is extrapolating to low pressure, and the bright colours of orange is red, so extrapolate to high pressure. So we can see with EWF, and these are mean flow charts for 7 to 10 days time. So this takes us to around the 25th of June. And we can see that we've got a little bit more of an Atlantic influence here with the EWF. So there's below average heights there to the south of Iceland, more over across northeast parts of Europe and some in the Atlantic. And perhaps more significantly than that, the black lines here, which is the jet stream, that's running through the country. Now, we have got some above average heights to our south and in the Atlantic, but overall that does imply that we have a little bit of an Atlantic influence there as we're running into the final stages of the month, whereas the GFS is very anticyclonic. So this is how the GFS is looking, with a big area of above average height centred over to the east of the country. There is below average heights out to our west, and between the trough and the ridge, we're probably drawing up quite a hot southerly wind. So the GFS is hotter this morning than the ECMWF, and possibly, courtesy of this trough in the Atlantic, possibly thundery, as well as being quite hot there as we're running up towards the final stages of June. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Now, quite clearly, we're in for a prolonged, fairly warm and dry spell. The red line here is a 30-year upper air temperature average. A little bit cooler today, but from tomorrow onwards, those temperatures are lifting up, and then they're staying quite warm then through towards the middle stages of next week, after which there is a little bit of a cooling trend taking place through to the very end of the month. This is 1st of July, just here, when it does look a little bit cooler. But certainly for the next week, possibly up to 10 days, we are in for a lot of warm weather. And in terms of precipitation, well, loads of dry weather for the rest of this week, into weekend, into much of next week. Then the precipitation spikes are coming back over sort of next weekend, and then into the final days of June. Not really coming back with conviction, however. You wouldn't necessarily say that's a very wet spell of weather by any means, but it does look a little bit more showery perhaps as we're going into the last week of the month. Maybe more significantly is that around this period we might be getting some thunder as the temperatures are sliding away, and that does coincide with that Glastonbury Festival period, of course. Temperature anomalies for the next week. This is going from the 15th through to the 23rd of June. They're coming out warmer than average. Again, most western parts of Europe are warmer than average. The east of Europe is generally cooler than average. Precipitation anomalies are significantly drier than average as well. So we have reverted back after a more unsettled spell. We have certainly reverted back to quite a dry theme by the look of it. And of course we had this through much of the year. Then we had a bit of wetter spell at the start of June. Looks like we're reverting back now to generally quite dry conditions. So drier than average for the week from today, 15th, through to 23rd of June with those anomalies. In America, it's warm in the west with the temperature anomalies for the next week, 15th, 23rd of June. Much of the west and southwest of states is looking warm. Eastern areas are turning a little bit milder, but still their temperatures are not really all that far from average, but they are lifting up a little bit compared to where they were a week or so ago. Precipitation anomalies look very dry through the central and western states. Over in the east of America, there the precipitation anomalies are above average. So a real east-west split between the rainfall in the week ahead, 15th, 23rd of June. Back closer to home then, and this is how things are looking on Monday. High pressure still dominating with the GFS, so a lot of dry and very warm weather to be had then. Temperatures over the weekend by Sunday could well be at or maybe even above 30 degrees Celsius in the south, 86 Fahrenheit, and that warmth is likely to stay with us, or that heat I should say, is likely to stay with us into Monday as well. Through into Tuesday, the high pressure is still being maintained. I suspect it's a slightly cooler, fresher air mass even down in the south, but the main point at the high pressure is still very much in control there, still dominating the weather through to Tuesday and indeed through to Wednesday as well, drawing up these very warm, if not perhaps hot, southerly southeasterly winds as well. Through to the second half of next week, the high pressure is still there. Notice low pressure is gathering out to the west in the Atlantic. We saw it on the high to anomaly flow charts between the two, bringing the air up from the south. That's hot air being drawn up from the south with this low pressure out to our west. That could be providing the energy for delivering perhaps something a bit thundery through into the second half of next week. By Friday 23rd, excuse me, and into Saturday 24th of June, we begin to break the Atlantic through to some degree, probably bringing a cooler, fresher feel. However, even then, still quite a bit of ridging down to the south, so that doesn't look definitively unsettled by any means. Yes, it might be a little bit more showery, a little bit more cooler there as we're running to the weekend of 24th, 25th of June. But by no means does that look like a washout. Day 10, which is the 25th of June, signals perhaps a change to more of a low pressure influence from off the Atlantic as this ridging carries begins to weaken. But that's a very long time away in this kind of pattern. ECMWF finally, and again, high pressures through the country there on Monday, bringing a hot start, particularly to the south, to next week. Turns a little bit cooler from the north on Tuesday, although the south is still close to quite warm conditions. Then the high pressure comes back through the middle part of next week, start to draw the air up from the south. So I suspect what happens next week, and I think they are firming up on this a little bit, what happens is that we start off hot on Monday, we turn a little bit cooler and fresher on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday we probably start to draw the heat back up from the south again, and at that point we might start to bring through some thunderstorms as well Thursday, Friday, with those high temperatures. Then by the time we run up to weekend 24th, 25th of June, we saw it on the high to anomaly flow chart, does turn more unsettled then, so that's definitively unsettled by Sunday 25th of June. That's low pressure back in control of the weather, probably bringing showers along with spells of rain. And notice now the air is being drawn down from the northwesterly direction, so that's significantly cooler, as well as being rather showery too. So after a lot of uncertainty over recent days in relation to next week's weather, I think we are now beginning to firm up on the way ahead. We start off hot on Monday, we turn it a little bit cooler and fresher on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then probably reload the heat on Thursday. That may trigger thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, and then possibly the weekend of 24th, 25th of June. It turns a lot cooler and fresher, maybe a bit more unsettled too. That's the weekend of the Glastonbury Festival, of course, and talking of Glastonbury, we will have the 4th update for the Glastonbury Festival this evening, so come back for that if you're interested in weather for Glastonbury. Tomorrow it's JMA Friday, that's going to cover the whole of the coming month, takes us well into July, so come back for that tomorrow, and that's all for now. Thanks for watching.